Hey YouTube, this is Southern Purple 1. I've been wanting to do this video for a few days, just been on my mind and my heart. Worst case event, I don't care what it is. Let's just say it's an EMP. If it's a full-scale nuclear exchange between us and another country, it's going to add a lot more problems into the mix. But it also could eliminate a lot of the population very quickly, which would cause you different problems because you have to deal with radiation. But let's not talk about radiation. Let's talk about an EMP, a worst case event goes off. They estimate that 90% of Americans would die within the first year. I truly believe that. If you look at the people where they live in the cities, and most preppers call themselves preppers, but really they couldn't sustain an EMP at all. I jotted just a few little notes. I wanted to talk about a few subjects, not to discourage you, but to encourage you, because if you're prepared for an EMP, you are prepared for pretty much for anything. First of all, where do you live? I mean, if you're right in the middle of a city, you probably won't survive, even if you're a mid-level prepper. If you're out in the country, you have a better chance. But your proximity to people, if you got a lot of people around you that aren't prepared, they're not going to roll over and just stay in their house and die of hunger or lack of water or lack of medical care or lack of supplies. They are going to become animals. Yes, a lot of them won't, but the percentage is going to be so small it won't matter. The majority of people care about only themselves and their family, and you will be a target. So look at where you live, and then quit fooling yourself thinking, oh, I'm going to make it through. I don't fool myself with my skill set, with my supplies, with my support structure, with my location. I assume I will have casualties in my family. I will have people pass away from medical conditions. I will have people maybe pass away from violence. I accept that because I live in reality. I've been overseas. I've been in crappy situations where good trained people got killed. I've seen the effects of starvation on people. So I am not going to fool myself and think, oh, it's me, it's Southern Prepper 1, I'll make it through anything. No, I'm a human. My family members are going to suffer. I will suffer. So don't think, oh, because I'm a prepper, I'm going to make it. No, preppers are going to pass away and die and get killed at a high level. You'll just have a little better shot than the prepared or the underprepared Americans that are out there. So where you live. What about your support structure? I have people calling me, and I talk to them every week, wanting to move. Now some want to get a fresh start, but my biggest thing to them, they say, well, I don't have any prepper friends, but they have family in the area. Some of them said their family is not worth anything. It's actually going to be a detriment, so I believe that. But your support structure, if you've lived there for 30 or 40 years, you know people, you definitely have more of a support structure than if you move next to me or if you move to the Ozarks or wherever you want to move to. You might need to stay where your support structure is. If your support structure is all around you, it's a huge benefit. You know, some preppers say, oh, we're going to move near you, Dave, but they're 20 minutes away or 20 miles away. Other than having some conversations on the phone and occasionally getting together to do a little training, I will not help them because I can't. If I can't walk to you, I don't know what the magic number is. 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles, 5 miles. If you're not in that bubble in a worst case event, you are on your own. I'm not going to be able to help you. I don't want to help you. Why should I go 20 miles away to help you when I am going to be barely holding on myself? I'm not trying to be selfish or anything, but I'm not going to endanger my group that is counting on me and I'm counting on them to come to your aid. I tell people that you got to live close enough where I can give you assistance without endangering my group. That's just the bottom line. So if you are in an area with no preppers but you have a support structure of family that love you, stay where you are. I have no crystal ball. I don't know when the crap is going to hit the fan, that is for sure. But with the prices of land and houses rising and just the lack of things for sale in my area, Not a lot of things for sale. So when something comes on the market, it sells very quickly if it's worth its weight in gold, in the sense of being a prepper paradise, or it has potential to be a prepper paradise. It sells very quickly, and it sells sometimes for over asking price. So quit thinking about moving and start preparing where you are. Now, if you're in the city, get the heck out, because you won't survive an EMP. It would be by an act of God, the grace of God, that you would survive. Water. Worst case event, you better have water resources. You better have resupply, because you can only store a certain amount of water. So think about that. And the best thing is being in the country, being out of the urban populations, having a spring. Even a well is great, but I'm telling you, don't count on your hand pump. My simple pump is broken. I need to pull it and look at it. Don't count on your generator pumping water out of the ground. I would go back to a baler bucket. And I've done videos on the baler buckets. You have to pull your pump, get your pump out, which will take just brute strength and a little bit of skill, and then use a baler bucket to drop that baler bucket down your casing and get water out. That's what you're going to have to resort to in a worst case EMP. If you say, well, I got solar panels and I have all these things, they might not work because of EMP. Plus, guess what? If you got solar panels visible to people that can walk on the public property and see your solar panels, people are going to remember that in a worst case event. So you're going to have to become a gray man. Now, you're probably saying, Dave, you're not a gray man, you're on YouTube. Yes, I am on YouTube. And I'm trying to help as many people as possible. I'm also trying to build a network of people that I can count on. That network will hopefully help, because I'm not a gray man right now. But guess what? Dave has a backup plan. Dave's not going to be where you think Dave's going to be. Dave knows that he might have to go somewhere else close by and take shelter with his family. And I'm willing to do that. So all the work I put on this retreat might be for naught. But you got to have a backup plan. Now, if people can see your garden from the road, yeah, you're going to survive for a little bit. But a worst case event, you're not going to be able to put a garden in there. So you might need to move. I'm sorry to say that. You've worked so hard. But when 95% of the people have no food, water, shelter, security, and the list goes on, you're a target. You're not going to survive. I don't care if you have 4 or 5 trigger pullers in your family and you say, well, I'm going to dig in. You're not going to dig in when 100 people come across your fence line. It's going to do you no good. Food. Can you grow food? Your storage of supplies to get you through so you can start growing food. If you don't know how to grow food and you're not growing a ton of food right now, you're going to be in a lot of hurt. It's just not buy some seeds, put them back, and then when time comes, oh, I'm going to go out there in the ground, I'm going to tear my grass up and plant. It's not going to work. You're going to die. I have gardened for all my life. My parents have gardened. It takes a lot of work. You can grow a lot of food to supplement, but you're not going to grow grain. You're not going to grow oats. That's going to take a lot of effort. There's not many preppers I know that can sustain themselves 100%. Not many. So what is your food plan for a worst case event? Medical and dental. You better surround yourself with people that are already doing things in these medical fields and dental fields. Accidents happen on the homestead. Accidents happen every day when you're chopping wood, when you're working hard, when you're running a rototiller. You could get hurt in one split second. And nowadays we have the medical. We can go to the hospital, we go to the emergency room. If you're responsible for all of your medical care and dental care, you better get going. There's so much. I need to do a video on what I think you need. I'm ready to set up my own clinic. I might not have the skill sets to use everything I have to its fullest extent, but I know people in my community. Medical is going to get you a simple cut. You could be using a handsaw and your hand gets in the way. A nice cut that needs stitches can get infected. There's so many things that you need to prepare for. Shelter. You might say, well, I'm going to heat with wood. You live in the suburbs, and you were smart enough to put a little wood stove in or a fireplace insert. Guess what? When it's February outside and it's 17 degrees and your neighbors are all cold except maybe one or two houses that have smoke coming out the chimney, that's a death sentence. Don't do it. You will have so much attention drawn to you. So yeah, you thought of a plan. I'm gonna just burn this wood, and I have a little bit of wood put back, but it's just gonna attract attention. Not trying to discourage you. I'm just trying to slap you in the face and let you look at reality. Prepper sometimes thinks, oh, I'm a prepper. I'm invincible. I've prepared. Look at what I have behind me. Look at my food stock, my ammo, my guns. Reality's gonna slap you in the face. And that's what I'm trying to do now, so you start thinking, is your heat plan going to get you killed because smoke is rising from your chimney? Gardening, I talked about that a little bit. Farming, do you have livestock? If you do, you say, oh, I got 10 cows. They're in the field right there. Everyone that's driving by your little farmette is seeing those cows. You think your cows are going to last? No. You might have to switch to rabbits. You might have to switch to chickens. But think of it, worst case, can I sustain myself? Can I feed my animals? I'm throwing a lot out here, and it's sort of a little bit dark because I want you to start thinking worst case event. Because if you can prepare for the worst case, you can prepare that for the depression and the collapse of the dollar. Because the collapse of the dollar could create some of the same problems as an EMP. EMP, you're not going to have that electricity. It could be totally out. Everyone that's on some type of medical equipment that needs electricity will die shortly. Everyone that's on insulin and all the other medication. And then you have the huge segment of population that's on antidepressant and other psych drugs. When they run out of these drugs, it's going to be zombies. The Walking Dead. There's going to be a lot of people totally messed up, unable to cope. What happens if one of these persons or these people are your relatives that you love dearly? How are you going to handle this if they go off their medication? I think in the old days they put a lot of people in homes and locked them in rooms. The crazy uncle in the attic. That's what you might have to do. Security. Oh, so much to say about that. I mean, are you really prepared? Have you done 1,000 reloads this year? You might not have to shoot the rounds, but have you gone through the mechanics, the body mechanics of removing a magazine from the pouch, inserting it into your magazine? Have you done 1,000 of them so far this year? When it comes time under stress, guess what? You're going to have a bunch of thumbs on your hands. You're not going to have fingers. They're going to all be thumbs, and you're going to be trying to manipulate. You're going to be trying to undo a pouch. Nerves, your adrenaline is going to be flowing. You must have muscle memory. Muscle memory to the point you can do that almost in your sleep. Have you done it? If not, it's going to look ugly for you. Security is a huge thing. It goes back to population density. It goes back to your location. It might be to a point where you might have a great retreat. You better have a backup plan where you can take some of your supplies and go hide in a hole until the worst happens. Hide in the hole until the population crashes because of the situation. You might not want to duke it out with every group of people that want your little homestead. Consumables. The pioneers could get by with anything. They could go in the woods. We got to have all our consumables, and rightfully so. A lot of those things will help us stay alive. But everything that you use every day, like toilet paper, what's your plan when you run out of toilet paper? My plan is not to run out of toilet paper, but eventually I will. How about fuel? Things, your generator. Turn your generator on 30 days after an EMP, if it survived the EMP burst. You're going to be drawing so much attention to yourself, and all of it's going to be negative. No one's going to come over and say, hey, I heard your generator. You are so smart for stocking up for this crap. Congratulations, man. You're going to get neighbor of the month in the subdivision. No, they're going to come over and say, hey, you need to share. I need some power. Can you charge this? So think about that. Transportation. You might have some alternative fuel vehicle. Get on the roads 30 days after EMP and think you're going to have your vehicle. It's going to be taken. I guarantee you, your vehicle will be taken. I saw it overseas. A running vehicle overseas in a third world crap hole when there's a civil war going on. You're going to lose your vehicle. Someone's going to take it. The authorities could take it. A bunch of deputy sheriffs thinking they're trying to do what's right for the community might see your running vehicle and say, we can use that to patrol your neighborhood. Give it to us. Not trying to disappoint you, trying to get you to think. I don't want you to think because you call yourself a prepper and you got that prepper cape behind you that you're a superhero and you're going to survive or you're going to make it through just because I'm a prepper. You're going to make it through with, first of all, the grace of God and God's ability to keep you safe. You're going to make it through by hopefully using your wit and being able to, the big thing, adapt. You have to adapt. Today it might be, yeah, I can stay at my homestead. Guess what? I have to make a drastic change immediately to survive. Yes, you might give up some supplies. You might give up your home. You might give up your fields that are already plowed. But the key is to survive. You might say, if I leave my fields, I'm going to die of hunger. Yes, it could happen. It could. So you're going to have the wisdom of Solomon to determine, what do I need to do to keep my family alive? Then I want to say, priority one is my family, my friends. But you guess what? The Lord didn't put me in this position to just help my family and friends. The Lord's put me in the position to help others. You might say, what do you mean? Well, have you ever been driving somewhere and you see someone that needs help and you feel this urge? To me, it's the Holy Spirit. He says, hey, stop, do something, help this person, give them a ride, give them 20 bucks, see if they need a jump. The Lord tells me to do that, and I follow that. So hopefully, we as preppers will have that ability and have the leading of the Holy Spirit and have love and kindness in our heart. So when we are told to do something, we'll do it. And we have the ability to do it. I have the ability to give some food away, and that's the goal. I can't give much away, but guess what? If I can give a family, and especially a child, if there's children involved, I'm going to be a little bit more open to feeding them, to providing for them. And I'll do what I can. I mean, I'm not the government, so I can't have unending supplies, but I'm not here to discourage you. I'm here to motivate you to start thinking worst case, because worst case might only be another depression, but think about that. Also, have that kindness in your heart to help your fellow man, because it's going to take a lot of people. It's going to take a lot of skill sets. Everyone has something to offer, from Granny that knows how to can without a canning book or without looking at a recipe. She can just do it. To that doctor, to that engineering student that's in college. He might be able to come up with some cool things to help your homestead. So everyone's going to contribute. Don't be discouraged, but keep on prepping. Thanks for watching.